And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Washington Redskins and the Minnesota Vikings. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and it'll be a 2nd down.
Detroit! Detroit!
A give. This is Cook. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Detroit! Detroit!
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He's going to let this one go deep. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. A big play there for Minnesota. 47 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
First red zone chance now for the Vikings. They've got a 1st and goal just inside the 5. They'll run with Cook. And he gets halfway home from the 4 down to the 2-yard line. Good first step there defensively, but they're still knocking on the doorstep, so maybe another run here?
I think so. One of my favorite coaches used to say, son, if you could darn near lay down near the end zone and get in, give me my best power running play with my best back right now.
He'll get it up the middle, and I think they stopped him again. They did at the 1-yard line. No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. This Washington defense, they've stood tall the first 2 plays. Now 3rd and goal.
Now let's go! 3-19! 3-19! Over!
They'll run it. Here's Cook. What a stand so far defensively, and now that's going to bring up a 4th and goal.
Now, this feels like old-school football because this has turned into a good old-fashioned goal line stand. So on offense, what do you do now? Do you decide to run it or throw it if you go for it on 4th down?
So an opening drive field goal maybe doesn't whip this crowd into a frenzy, but I think that they will take the early lead.
There's no doubt about it. They will always take the early lead, and maybe that celebration comes later if they play well and they can break things open. But right now, this is all about letting the offense just get settled in.
And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On 2nd down, here's Newton. Looking for his tight end read, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And a short gain down to about the 33. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Detroit! Detroit!
They'll set up a throw. Dancing to his left. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. Ryan Kerrigan able to drop him for a loss of a couple. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Looking to throw. Going right side here, and that's complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a 1st down. Handoff comes to Cook. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
On 2nd down, Cook. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
Detroit! Detroit! Gone! 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 Gone!
They'll drop to throw. And he will reach the 5-yard line before going out of bounds. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the 1st.
And that's how you pick up a 1st down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. They get it to him running left. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. They get 3 yards closer, but still work to do. It's 3rd and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
Cook. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
Now I would be surprised if they go for it. 3 points is not ideal. It's not what they want, but it's still only the first half. Take the 3 points and move on.
So scores on their first 2 possessions, but 6-0, so field goal is probably not what they were hoping for.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that. Not what they were hoping for, but they should be happy that they have points on the board. It almost feels like that old slow and steady wins the race, doesn't it? In this case, though, they want to be slow and steady now, but get explosive later and put the points up on the board.
The Redskins offense now, they get set to take over here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Now a play fake, and it's Newton. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Getting the ball is Cook running left. And he'll get about 3 as he's brought down to the 28.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They're going to look to throw. That's going to be caught. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. As his guys are in for 6. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Now for the extra point, Daniel Carlson. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead now stands at 13. Carlson now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And here come the Redskins now. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week, not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Off play action, Newton. And look at this. Cam Newton intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Mike Hughes. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line.
You hear me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation, but sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
On the ground. It's Cook. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Well, that's the second time he's been sacked so far in the first half, and if they have designs on having a big year, on going anywhere, they've got to find a way to keep him upright so he can throw the football.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long.
Detroit! Detroit!
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Going up top. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down. They're going for a receiver there. Already has 1 touchdown in this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored one, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And not a particularly good return here as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. To throw on 2nd down is Newton. It's brought in by Jamison Crowder. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets this football out shy of the 30 to the 29. They run it here with Thompson. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Being chased out left. So 1:56 to play in this first half. More from Minneapolis after this. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
There's another example of why they haven't scored any points so far. I think it's time to abandon the run game, spread things out, and go to the air. It certainly can't be any worse than what they've done so far.
They'll try the air now with Newton. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He's got it complete to Diggs, right side. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. Third down, Dalvin Cook. And he will have the first down as he gets this to the 47. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. The return of Cook, a big boost to this Viking offense. Here's 1st and 10. Back to throw now on first down. And his throw is incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They pitch it out to Cook. Oh, look at the juke. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. The Redskins looking for another timeout, and they get it, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. The Vikings on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 11. He'll look to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And he can't quite intercept it. Zone coverage, free safety was there. Couldn't come up with it, and now it's 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
On the ground, it's Thompson. Gets out of a little bit of trouble there with a shifty move. He'll take it up past the 6. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Here's Newton now on second down. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on third down. They fake the give. Newton. Complete. Richardson has it. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. Much more room to operate under after the big play. Here's 1st and 10. A final shot before the break. Newton forced out to his left. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, we'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Out comes the Redskin offense now as they get set to begin another possession. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution, or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they felt like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Out of the gun, Newton. This one complete to Jordan Reed. That'll be a gain of 15 yards, and that'll bring up 2nd down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made. And
my goodness, another interception. Picked up by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28.
Watch it now, Barney.
Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. He only got a couple on that one, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming.
Detroit!
He'll drop to throw. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Kyle Rudolph, 26 yards. And the Vikings capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Carlson now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. So out now come the Redskins.
Let's go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Geis with a carry on 2nd down. And he cuts it back right, and he's got a crease. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. All told, it's an even 30 and a 1st down. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll go over the middle to Reed, complete. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
On 3rd down, it's Thompson. And he will have a 1st down at about the 21-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
Nothing in that first half, nothing on the last drive, but they're moving now with a 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. They'll run with Thompson. And he's got 4 down inside the 20 to the 18.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
7th play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6. Play action. It's Newton. And now here's another interception. Picked up by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Thought they had something going there to break that goose egg here in the second half, but to no avail.
Hope was alive until that interception. What a terrific play, taking the ball away after it looked like they were starting a drive.
And now that shutout still standing. You know that's something those defensive guys hold a lot of pride on, too.
No doubt about it. They are excited about where they are in this game.
Tackle made there by Zach Brown.
Detroit! Detroit! Gun! 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 Over! Over! Over!
They'll set up to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And all the way to the opposite 49-yard line. It's a big one there for the Vikings. 43 yards. How about the rookie in his NFL debut? Looking sharp. It's 1st and 10. On the carry, it's Cook. And an alley to run. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 11 more yards that go around. A 1st down as well.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Detroit! Detroit!
They go play action here on 1st down. Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 33. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. They needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the 3rd quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break. Taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out of it as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts him in a pretty good spot for 2nd down. And he finds the tight end, Reed. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. Newton now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Throwing is Newton. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Eric Kendricks able to get in there and drop him for a 2-yard loss. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Now following the sack, they'll come up here on a 2nd down and 12. A shotgun snap for Newton. Over the middle, complete. That's Richardson. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. Newton on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up second and goal.
What a game this defense has played. They're pitching a shutout, so it'd be fun to watch down the stretch to see if their defensive coordinator continues to be as aggressive.
Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Linval Joseph getting in there from his defensive tackle spot to snow him under for a loss of 4. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes third and goal. From the gun, here's Newton. And he's got his man. That's Crowder for the Redskins touchdown. Jamison Crowder, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Redskins are able to close the gap just a bit. Cam Newton now getting his guys ready to go for the 2-point try. Operating from the gun. Newton, he's got it. So they convert the 2. That keeps their slim hopes alive as we're back to a 2-score game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. Well, don't look now, but they've got a little bit of a battle on their hands again. Back to a 2-score game, the interception that led to a touchdown. You'd have to think they're a little more careful here if they do indeed try to throw the football.
Yeah, and I was a little surprised by the last throw. You know, that type of throw in this type of a game, I'm going to be very careful about it. Maybe the only throw you make is maybe a toss to your halfback or something like that. Otherwise, take care of the thing and finish this bad boy off.
They run it again with Cook. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Now back to throw. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. This quarterback now, 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there. And on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or you just... And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack back at the 47-yard line. And now we're going to get a timeout called by the Redskin defense. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. 2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. They run with a fullback now. This is Dan Vitale. And trying to push forward, but he is going to be stuffed up in the backfield.
After a play like that, there should be congratulations all the way around, I think, because if you can stop a big fullback like that, that's not easily done.
Yeah, he does not go down easily. You're right, but he did there.
Detroit! Detroit!
They're going to look to throw. Looking deep downfield. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by DJ Swearinger. Two-score game here in the fourth, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a two-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on it and trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it.
It got his man complete. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. They give him a gain of 37. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. Now Newton. Airing one out for Crowder. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. He was looking for Jamison Crowder there. That'll bring up 2nd down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
On 3rd down, it's Thompson. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. Now a play fake, and it's Newton. This is caught. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal. To throw on 2nd down is Newton. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Tell you what, Brandon, if I see a dime look, if I see 6 defensive backs near the goal line, I'm changing to a running play every time.
And they had 6 there. Surprised he didn't audible at the line?
Very much so. I'm going to count on my offensive line in this situation against the lighter defensive backs and try and push it across the end zone that way.
Back to throw, Newton. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Desperation time. Newton, 4th down. And he will score. Touchdown, Washington. Cam Newton, already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Redskins are able to cut into that deficit. And now in a 9-point game, they'll still just need to go for 1 here. Hopkins with the extra point as this gets them back within a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So here we go. They'll need the recovery, obviously, then a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie. And the Vikings able to recover. The Hands team does its job. 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
So here we go, Charles, third down. Any chance you're throwing?
I don't think so. I think you got to keep the clock rolling here.
They go down to a knee, and the new campaign off to a good start. It's a win here in Week 1.
I do get a kick out of seeing a team kneel down at the end of the game in victory formation and wrap one up, because most of the time a kneel down is not a good thing in football. In this case, it's the best thing for the team that's winning.
Best thing, Week 1, and 1-0 after going down to that knee. And, partner, this first week, this first game that we get to call together, so special every year, Week 1. You had the flyover, the big American flag out there before the game, all the hoopla, just having football back, so special.
It is an opening day, opening game. There's just nothing like it because you really build to a crescendo. But the best part for us is that crescendo lasts for a while. Opening game here, an entire season. We get into the playoffs, to the Super Bowl. I was really excited. I could barely sleep last night. I can't imagine being a player.
So for Minnesota, that'll be a happy locker room as they start this season 1-0. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Meanwhile, for Washington, they go down to defeat here in the opener. And they will be at home next week to take on the New York Giants. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.